everyone, it's Sylvia here from Casino Library and welcome to Tangles on Tuesday. In this series, we're going to take you through the process of creating beautiful art pieces known as Zentangle.
Hi Tanglers, welcome back to another Tuesday and a few more fun patterns for you today with our Tangles on Tuesday series. How did everyone go with their card last week? I hope that you had fun and gave it a go. We'd love to see your cards, so please upload them in the comments below and share them with us. I'd love to see what you've been doing. So this week we've got two new tangles, and the first one we're going to start with is called Flukes. Now Flukes is an original tangle by Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas, and we're going to start with our point, one pen, our practice sheet, and the first thing we're going to do is a grid. So I'm going to go corner to corner on my practice tile, and I'm just going to divide that up. So just like that. Then I'm going to do another couple of lines. So I'm going to come across here and here, just breaking that space up fairly evenly, and I'll do the same. I'll pick up on this line here and come down, and on this one here. Okay, simple, easy. So we've divided our working space up now. So I'll start with this square here. What we're going to do is some lines that echo or aura. So similar to the aura effect that we get when we do crescent moon. So those lines that mirror image each other, mimic each other. So starting in this square here, doesn't matter which corner you work with, but we want to draw some lines within that square. We're going to try and keep them fairly well spaced or evenly spaced. So I've done one within that square, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do another one, remembering to keep turning your card and keeping your pen and your hand in a position that's comfortable and right for you. So there's my second one. Now the number of these lines that you do is completely individual choice. I see Flukes normally done with about 3 of those lines there. And then the next step, which is nice and simple, as are all the tangles that we've been doing, and that's the beauty of Zentangle, is that anyone can do this. You don't need to have any drawing skills, any artistic skills. I can draw by no means. I have been known to traumatise Stickman on several occasions, so that's how good my drawing is. But I love Zentangle because it's free and open to personal expression. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to do one more set of lines like we've done now. Now what I'm going to do is swap over to my 0.4 pen, or even larger tip pen if you have, because we're going to shade this square here, the last one at the bottom. Just take your time with that. Take your pen. I'm just going to do the outline. Now those sets of lines I did aren't exactly lining up. Hey, it's not meant to, doesn't have to. I'm sure you're sick of hearing me say that by now, but it really is important to know that there is no right or wrong when it comes to our Zentangle. It's not about looking ahead to what the finished piece will look like. It's just about enjoying the moment of doing each tangle and each stroke that makes up that tangle. Okay. So once that's done, let's take a look. There you go. That's the first part of the Flukes tangle done. And we're going to repeat that process in each of our squares and each of our partial squares. Now you may be thinking it's a bit tricky to work out what you're going to do with these half ones. So I'm actually going to work back the front with these. I'm going to actually draw in these lines here that make up this square. I'm going to draw them in first. I'm actually going to do that now. So I'll swap back to my point 1. And I'm going to eyeball that as best I can. And then I'll echo the lines working back out from that space. I just find it easier. That's how my mind works with this one and my pen. Now you'll get to a point where those lines won't meet, because remembering it's only a half square, so it's just that triangle. So those lines will just come to the edge of your working tile or the edge of your string. All right, so I have now going to swap to my point 4, and the same, I'm going to fill in this area here, that square area. So go ahead and do that for me. Or if you're just sitting back relaxing with a cuppa, that's great. That is the whole point, just to kick back, relax, make yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and just enjoy the series. And when you're ready, pick up your pen and your paper and have a go yourself. Okay, so there we go. So you can see that when we do them, so it looks as if these half ones are tucked in behind this one here. So we'll do I'll do the one on this side here and come back and show you how that looks. So I've gone ahead and finished the other half triangle there, or sorry, the other half square there, and you can see that that's coming together nicely. So repeating that process in each of these squares and triangle areas. All we're going to see in this one is those side lines, just that one set, because of the way our triangle is. Okay, so stepping it out like that, and then changing over to my point 4 and shading that bottom section in. And I won't have a full square, it'll just be a half square, so it'll give me that triangle, because that's where the edge of our working tile is, or think of it as your edge of your string. Okay, so we can just see it poking in. So with this one here, the bottom of this one would be here, same as this one, because they're all going to line up. So all we're going to see are these lines coming back towards this way. So I'll do that for you, it might make a little bit more sense. Okay, so following this line here of that triangle, following the outer line, and just coming down till it meets that edge, like that. And then making sure that we echo that each time we draw it in. Okay, so that's done there. And this bottom section, I'm going to swap to my point 4, and I'm going to shade that in, block that in with colour. So you just need to be aware when you're doing those part square areas, just thinking and remembering that the filled in part will always sit at the bottom, and that's how you know that this is, so on this side your lines are all going to come this way, and over on this side they're all going to run, they're all going to run back that way, so following the one above it each time. There we are, so we can see how that's coming together really well. So again, I've got my full square, so I'll add in my lines with my point 1. Just doing that aura where they just repeat each other. There we go. And again, I'll take my 0.4 and I'll shade in this area here. That is a tangle for you today called Flukes. So I just want to show you a quick variation on this tangle Flukes by doing a curved line like I have here instead of this angled line. We then create a tangle known as Beelight, which is another one of the original Tangles by Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas. So it's done in the same way. You say draw up your grid just like we did over here. I just went ahead and did that for you. And then I just find this tangle a little bit easier if I do my coloured section first. I just find I get a little bit better control over drawing those auras around it. But again, it's entirely up to you. And it's the same with Flukes. If you prefer to do this coloured in section first, by all means, you go ahead and do what works for you. So I've done that. These ones are completed. So I did my, where we had our coloured in square here, it's more of an arc. Now the other tangle I'd like to show you today is called Cruffle. And Cruffle is a really fun tangle to do either freehand, or if you prefer to use a template or something to make your circle, that's fine too, and making lots of different size circles. So a simple circle to start, and we're going to draw a line, a gentle curved line, almost an S through the center of that circle. So just a gentle line, just dividing it roughly in half. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to come up and do an aura that follows that shape in there. So by that is starting down, coming up, just coming down and around, almost like a teardrop. And I'm going to keep repeating that aura until I've filled in this space. So my next one, again starting down in that bottom section, coming up, and an aura back down. So that's what it looks like. So keep going. Another one, the aura coming up and around and down. So as you can see, the space that I'm left with now is very small. So what I might do is just come up with a single line and just do almost like a little oval seed pod to finish off. Now I can leave my Cruffle like that, this tangle. You don't have to do the next step, but I'm going to do it to show you anyway. So I could leave it like that, but what I'm going to do now is do the same lines on this other side, except this time I'm going to start from here and coming up, so the fullness of my lines is up in here, so it'll be opposite. I'll just turn my card. Okay, so again I'm going to start down in that bottom corner, going to come up and around. I'm going to aura the outside. Okay, so I've done an aura, and I'll keep going as I did with this one until I come and fill in that space. So starting down the bottom, up and around, like a long teardrop or dewdrop, up and around. So the space that I'm left with here, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to just draw a fine line up and then do just a small oval. It's like a little seed head, you might say, to finish off. And there we have some Cruffle. Now I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to do a little bit of shading. Just going to shade just in through here and here, where I can already see some natural darkness from where our pen kept starting each time we did our aura. Just really lightly with your pencil, because we can always add more, but we can't take it away. Really light pencil and my blending tool, my paper stump, and just going to work that or push that around, just blend it to add some highlight, some depth. A little bit more pencil there. And I could highlight just one side. So I've done that there. I could have just highlighted up through here on the backs of those two tangles there. Again, it's up to you. So that's what Cruffle looks like. So we'll do a couple of more. So starting with your circle, dividing it in half with a gentle curve, a bit like an S shape, like I've done there. Going to start down here, come up and around, back down, up and around. Okay, so I've done one half. What I might do is leave the other half. When I say blank, I'm just going to do some dots, some fine dot work to show you a variation on that. That looks good. I'll do another one here, dividing it in half. Okay, like we have here. And let's just come up and around and do our aura. You can see, I'll do another one. And then just a fine line and a little bit of a, what I call a bit of a little seed head or seed pod. I'll take my pencil and just to show you, I'm just going to shade around the back. So I've just popped in some light pencil here and my blending tool and just going to push that around and blend that in. There. So that's a really fun one, a really easy one. Again, you can do freehand, or if you've got a template or something you would like to trace around. If you're not confident drawing your circles, by all means, but have a play with that one. So that's a really nice one. And let us know how you go. So that for you today, Flukes, Beelight, which is the variation on Flukes, and Cruffle. So this week's challenge, just to get you thinking outside the box a little bit, I'm going to challenge you to do a bookmark. So I've cut a piece of cardstock that is 6 centimetres by 21. I've drawn on a bit of a random string there, and I'm going to have a go at doing a bookmark. I'd love you to do the same. I'll make this available in the comments below if you'd like to download and follow along with the string that I've done. Remembering that our string is only a guide and it is there to get you started. So feel free to add in some extra string lines or just come up with your very own. But I would really love to see what you come up with. So I look forward to seeing those when we meet again next week.
In the comments below, you'll find a link to the practice sheet that I've been using here today. You'll also find a link to this week's challenge tile. If you're unable to access these from your computer at home, we'll make some packs available. All you have to do is give us a call on 666 00 250 and give us a day or two to get those ready for you. That pack will also include some pre-cut 3.5 by 3.5 inch tiles to get you started. And remember, if you'd like to receive instant updates when new content is added to our YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button. Thanks for joining us here today, and we'll see you next week for another Tangles on Tuesday.